We had an excellent day in the market yesterday, and we have some things lining up the way that we want to see it line up in order to continue to be bullish on this market. We need just maybe a little bit more to go from here. So are we still teetering? Absolutely still teetering, but we do have some very auspicious positioning as we get into Friday here. So happy Friday, happy Valentine's Day. Let's get right into the charts on this. So we're going to kick things off with SPY. So looking at the S&P 500, I said 609.83 was the number that we have to sit on top of. And if you guys would just take a look at where we stopped out, where we got rejected yesterday. Now, mind you, we settled 10 cents below it to close. 609.73. We peekabooed up as high as 609.94. Right smack dab in the middle of those two is the 609.83 that I've been talking about for a while now. So this could be a triple top moment. Just please keep that in mind. We have 1, 2, 3 different touches on this, 4 if you count these two candles twice. So we want to watch and see. We need to sit on top of it with the candle for that bullish confirmation. If instead we get rejected off of here and we fall down through these supports, well, that can be something that could be bearish for us. But if you look, we got support here at the 50-day. We also got support at the 20-day. Both of those things, testing out those moving averages, finding them for support, that's a bullish thing. RSI below 60 but above 50. That's the nice sweet spot, especially with it rising. So we have good signs, at least from a technical standpoint, for the S&P 500. Keep an eye on that. You'll notice this price that I have, or the peak of this candle here, the high part of the wick is 608.13. That was a previous high that we had during regular trading hours back on Friday the 7th. Here we are on Thursday the 13th, and we're up above that. So we got a higher high for the first time. Let me see, the last time that we got that was on January the 24th. And so now we broke that previous peak. Now it's about breaking this peak back here at 609.96, which we almost got there. And then, of course, breaking this one as well. So that consolidation, we're starting to break the upside on that. And once again, that is a very bullish thing to see. And as a matter of fact, here's a play that I had talked about over in the Discord. I think I shared it here on YouTube a while ago. We have a big old consolidation pattern on DraftKings, for example, and I said in the Discord, so we're breaking up above the top of this consolidation pattern. That's a bullish thing. Where do we see ourselves in the pre-market hours? $49 per share after breaking out of that consolidation on DraftKings. Like I said, for the S&P, it's a bullish thing to break out of that consolidation, so we'll see if we get that. Moving over to the Qs. Well, what happened? We have these higher lows. We have these lower highs coming up, more consolidation. We broke out at the top of that with a big old candle on half decent volume, not necessarily igniting volume, but still, that's a good thing to see. It's a bullish thing to see. We closed up above the 534 number here. That's a 38.2, and rather key Fibonacci value to look at, Fibonacci extension value. That could give us a green light up to this area of resistance from 545 up to 550. This is that bullishness that I was talking about if we found the support at the moving averages, and we did. Moving over to IWM, still down below the 20 and the 50, so not as well positioned for the S&P or for the Qs with the Russell 2000 stocks that we see here, but still in pretty good shape, especially making it on top of this trend line that you see coming up across the screen here. So for what we see for IWM, we're closing in on 50 for the RSI, closing in on bullish momentum, but that we're still pretty much in this sideways trading type area, at least in terms of momentum. And what you see for the prices is that we see some ups and downs with it too. So even though not necessarily completely sideways, a little bit of volatility, still sort of centering around this area in this low to mid 220s. And we're trying to break up out of that. Getting up on top of 225 is good, but we really need to sit on top of the 20 and the 50 as well, like we saw for the S&P and like we saw for the Qs, to continue to see that upside. And those 4 prongs that it's going to really take to ignite IWM. So easy monetary policy, low inflation, tight labor market, and high GDP. Those 4 pillars that we're looking at to really prop up IWM, the Russell 2000 stocks, to really ignite them. We need to make sure that all of those have fallen into place. And we really need to see that story on inflation tell us that it's one that's temporarily high and that's going to cool down significantly on us, allowing the Fed to ease their federal funds rate, easing that monetary policy. And we also, like I said, need to watch GDP continue to hold out, continue to stay strong. And right now, sentiment's pretty darn high and pretty darn good. And that can help out GDP as well. So let's move from there over to Nvidia. And where did Nvidia find itself? I said we could be stuck right around the 50 and the 20. So far, we haven't broken solidly up above the 50. We did close above this pink 50-day. That's a good thing. We need to get on top of this trend line that you can see we peekabooed above it yesterday, just a little bit during the regular market hours, but we still closed below it. Closing above the 50, though, once again, bullish. RSI above 50. That's also a bullish thing for Nvidia. We do have their earnings coming up on the 26th. Maybe we get that run, but just keep in mind this part that I have in the ellipse here. This is all chop right here. This is all very much an area of contention for Nvidia stock price, and I don't see us getting through that area of contention. We might get into the middle of it, but I don't think that we're going to get through it leading up to those earnings this time. I don't think that it has the same euphoria that it's had in the past. Even if it turns out to be a wild earnings, well, then we start to see the euphoria post-earnings. I don't know that we see the euphoria leading up to those earnings, though. We're going to have to watch and see, but right now we have a very bullish look, even maybe a bit of a bull flag looking coming out of this. We're going to have to watch and see. Again, trend line resist, got to make it on top. And then 50-day moving average closed above it, need to stay above it, need to test it as support. That's going to be further bullishness for us for Nvidia stock. Bitcoin, man, things are getting tight with the trading here. We keep on finding support again and again and again at the 95. We keep on getting rejected at about the 50. Got to watch for that push up above the 50 and the 20 for that further bullishness on Bitcoin. RSI on a daily basis just below 50. That does cool things down on a weekly and monthly basis, which really does help us out in a longer term movement to the upside, especially if we see just a rapid drawdown on us, especially if we come back down and retest this support that you see down here and find out that we have that support, but this thick trend line that you see across here from 2021 up until 2025 so far. It was resistance in 2021. It's support in 2025. That's a very good sign for further bullishness. We want to continue to see that cooling. XRP starting to break to the upside. This is what we want to see for Bitcoin, is that break up above the 50 and the 20. It broke out of this sideways little support range that I said we're probably going to get stuck in here. We did get stuck. Lots of indecision. Well, look, that the bulls are starting to decide on this one. RSI up above 50 and then up above the 50-day, up above the 20-day. Today's an important day for XRP. Watch the technicals on XRP. Watch for that break up above 50 and 20. Guys, it's like I said, we're well positioned in the market for further upside. We just need maybe another day, maybe another 2 days to see which way it's going to go for us. We are at the critical moment to watch and see that further upside come to the indices, coming to crypto, coming to Nvidia, just any number of stocks, indexes, crypto, you name it. We are very well positioned for that next movement. Hopefully next week is a very green week for us. We certainly have that potential, but we also have that potential. Okay, so there's a lot of bullish signs there to follow, and then just a little bit of question out there over whether or not we have support, whether or not we're at resistance in one more day, a few more days can show us exactly what that is. So keep on coming back, keep on watching. I'll keep on giving those updates. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. You can support me by finding the link for the Patreon down in the description. Click that, sign up, and head on over to the Discord. You can see my buys and sells, my technicals that are over there. You can talk to me and my community members, and you guys can learn to do technical analysis yourself and also learn how to trade using the bread recipe trading strategy through Stockmo Academy. Stockmo is a personal friend of mine. He developed the bread recipe trading strategy. It's one that I personally use and he uses, and the people who use that course also use and rave about the success that they're having with it. And you guys can get that course cheaper by using the code word DOCTOR, DOCTOR. It's going to save you a ton of cash. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning. We'll see you next video.